Hey, cinema community, we're here at our local cinema. Just got done seeing the movie Touch. This is our extended review. Rebecca, what'd you think?
Right off the bat, I want to congratulate the filmmakers for making the two timelines very seamless. There is a jumping between the two of them, and it's very clear, number one, which timeline you're in, but also how it's mirroring the story in the present.
Appreciated the movie, even though it went back and forth between timelines. It wasn't jarring, there wasn't a lot of jumping. It felt very fluid. That being said, the characters felt very consistent from way back in the day to modern day.
The performances are pretty solid and they bridge quite nicely. You can definitely see how the character has grown in their advanced age.
I appreciated knowing the characters from back in the earlier time. There were things that they didn't answer. The movie didn't cover everything. But to me, that was okay. It was about the story that unfolded and peeled layer by layer. But it was also about the characters. Did you really care about the characters? And there was a lot of emotion, and there wasn't a lot of extra scenes that took away from the actual story.
There's definitely a fair amount of mystery in this movie. I like that because sometimes in these films you know everything right away and it just feels like a race to the finish. This movie is a slow burn, but it unpeels the layers quite nicely.
This movie is a little bit over 2 hours. Honestly, it felt a little over 2 hours. It was a slow, steady pace. It was interesting. I was invested in all the characters, and there was some mystery. There were some parts that I didn't know what was happening. That being said, there were a few parts that were a little bit predictable, but it didn't take away from my enjoyment of the movie.
This is a pretty tightly edited film, even though it is 2 hours. It's very solid too. I didn't find myself losing my interest in the story as it would jump from time to time. There's no like, oh wait, go back here. It's pretty consistent, and when the story would jump between timelines, I wasn't like, take me back to the other one. I still enjoyed it. It was pretty solid and consistent.
The movie felt very fluid between the timelines. The characters felt like the characters. How they responded felt like that would actually respond that way. It felt like real people having a real life situation and going back to the past. Sometimes going back to the past leaves a lot to be desired, a lot of regret, a lot of pain. This one didn't really have that, even though there were some things that weren't explained until the very end of the movie.
I liked how the characters developed through their conversations, not always through their actions. The cinematography was also a great help in this regard. I noticed that the camera's focus really was an effective tool of communicating to the audience without being overly overwrought.
The cinematography in this movie really made for the movie. The lighting was really great, the setting. It just felt very consistent and kept me engaged the whole time. Rebecca, what do you think? Is it worth a watch?
I think this is worth a watch. Everybody always has that question about the one that got away. This is a really cute and sweet story about the one that got away, but there's also some real drama involved as well.
I liked the movie. I thought it was worth a watch. It had some sentimental feel. It had a lot of heart to it, but it wasn't overly romanticized, and it didn't feel so sappy that I walked away going, oh, I've seen this movie 1,000 times.
This has been one of our extended reviews. If you want to check out some of our other extended reviews, click the links to the right.